Welcome to Random Tuesdays. I'm Kelvis Freshly, aka K Fresh. I got Troll Huxtable _84 with me. I got Soul Brother #1 over here, and our man of our Tower of Power. No, I'm kind of lame with that. This is Jonathan Taylor. We are at 66 East Forest, Detroit, Michigan, at the Griot, his music lounge, and we're gonna get into talking to him about what this place is. It's super cool, super quaint. So, Jonathan, tell us where we are.
Right. The name of our lounge is the Griot Music Lounge. It's on 66 East Forest, Suite B. It's in the Sugar Hill district of Midtown Detroit. And I want to thank God for this opportunity, as well as my two partners, Scott and Karen Bosman. Without them, this wouldn't happen. So we all proud to be working here together to do this.
So your bar is based on vinyl, and it has a real home feeling to it. What brought that about?
Okay, I'm a born and raised Detroit. When I grew up in Detroit, music in a quaint setting like this is pretty much how we communicated on a daily basis. As black people here in Detroit, this is how we were raised regularly. So it really, as much as it's conceptual, what it was is just watching how the city has a reputation that it has throughout the world, good and bad. Motor industry, Motown, movies, hip hop, etc. It was just a setting that we felt that we needed to express the home, quaint, communicative part of Detroit that was warm and about the people. So we wanted this to be sort of like an oasis where no matter what you may hear about the city, good or bad, that you could come in here and it would be like an oasis of how Detroit actually was for me personally. And I just want to make it where once you leave, you do have, by the sound and the sight of this place, that all the racial things, whatever you may be hearing, if you have a proper sound and a proper atmosphere, that this can overcome that. So that's what this spaces was about. And we hoping, as we put our time and efforts and God in the forefront of it, that it gets better each time we come, each time someone visits.
How do you determine what's going to be played? Is it just randomly, or do you have like a theme, like, you know, from 8 to 9, I'm going to go with reggae, you know, from 9 to 10, I'm going to go old soul? Or is it just whatever you select from the staff?
Okay, that's a good question. And each day I try to think about this. Music has been in me since I was 14. So I pretty much going by the gauge of the people that come in, and I'm coming out of 20,000 records. This is about 2,800. But each day I go through my storage and what I have, and just determine the feel of what might be happening in the world. I may go by what's happening with on a Wednesday, what may have happened with the death of an artist. I may go by what the clientele is at the time, and I try to just do it by the feel of what's going on in the environment and the people that hit the door. And through music, I feel that if I grasp enough of what I see, I can bring a oneness to the people through the music. So I try to touch the crowd through the music, through what we have, as best I can. And you know, it's kind of like every day you have to have a feeling of what you're doing. So I'm here every day for that. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's a perfect answer.
Okay, so what is your take on where Detroit is now musically compared to the past, and where do you think it's going, and how does your bar fit into that?
Well, a griot is a person who tells the story of the village and the people through music. He's a historian, an archivist, and his responsibility is to teach and to know his history. And for that reason, I really don't separate where music is now to where it was. It's really my responsibility to mesh the two. So to do that, I have to keep an optimistic approach with the youth and the elders. And with me being, I'm an elder now, it's up to me to make sure that I grasp the youth and also listen to my elders and make sure that it becomes a oneness where we don't separate it into different genres and how it is now to then. The most important thing that I believe personally is that we do need to get back to instrumentation, because technology is something that evens the playing field too much, where a person cannot put their soul and their background and their history and their suffering sacrifices or what it takes to be a Detroiter cannot be put into technology that can even the playing field. I do believe we need to get back to the empathy of arguing and laughing and crying and loving each other and being on time, meetings and instruments and practicing and everything that it takes, and putting all that oneness into our music. So I try to focus on instrumentation as much as I can. But you know.
Do you play an instrument?
Well, I once played an instrument, but not anymore.
What was it?
Bass and trombone.
So, how long has your spot been open?
We've been working on the spot, this lounge, for approximately, this is over a year and a half of work. We've been open for 2 months. We haven't done our official grand opening because we're perfectionists and we want to make sure that when we do have balloons and everything on that scale, that it's something that our parents and their parents' parents and our councilmen and everyone that we know ahead of us, before us, and during is proud that our food and our staffing and our sound and everything is together. So we're working on this every day, and like I said, I thank my partners very much, to beautiful people, for their efforts, because without them it wouldn't happen, and we all do our part to make sure this happens great. So I want to say thank you to Scott and Karen again.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah, you
I'm being
can.
greedy.
No,
My bad.
I'm
He's here
serious.
too, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I just want to say, like, it's important what you were saying about how you design the place with the theme of just Detroit, that era of Detroit is. I grew up like that too, like my elders, my aunts, and just that basement party feeling. So it's cool to actually see that preserved, because that is something you don't see that often. So I just want to say I salute that.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, I really just felt like we always in such a rush to live. It's harder to make it now than when I was younger, because you once could just walk out of school and there was a job in a factory or something for you, and even if it wasn't that, you could always go to Hudson's or J.C. Penney or something. Now, it's a situation where it's making our youth brilliant in one sense, but it's making them have to work so hard, and there's nothing at the end of the rainbow for them. So with that in mind, they're becoming jack of all trades in a lot of different things, but it's hard to really settle somebody down when it's hard to eat, have a child and have a husband and have a wife and whatever. So we need somewhere to just sit down and know that there's some optimism and somewhere that we can just sit the hell down. Can I curse? But anyway, we need somewhere. I gotta turn this record over. I'll be right back. But we need somewhere like that.
So mid-interview, he's gonna go and switch a record because that's what he does. Like, these are his personal records. And we about to talk about that because I need to know what his favorite record out of was here.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a question I gotta ask.
No, because actually that was gonna be my question.
That was gonna be your question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't steal it because I got that's cool. You good? Go
You already
ahead.
have like 10,000 questions.
But I'll be quiet.
You just kind
For
of,
real.
yeah.
I just
Go over it.
But Tia can tell you. You know the truth.
you know, it's always time for laughter, no matter
You can
how
ask that
serious
question.
it is. No, you can have it because I got better when you good.
A couple's fight on camera.
A lot of folks think this particular lyric is
You can ask that question. I got some more.
I got like the other question that no, I gotta ask. There's gonna be another question close to this. Out of the billions of records that you have, what is your favorite one to play while you're here?
Well, my most favorite record to play here, she was this lady right here. This our waitress here was the first person to kind of mention it to me. It's by an album by a man named Yusef Lateef, Doctors In and Out. But I just want to say for the record, it was never one of my favorite records. It just fits this scene perfectly, and I can transition through it. And one day she was sitting here last week, and she said, you know, whenever you play this record, it merges the present. And it's like, it's surprising because I never had played it at my house too much. I really just started playing it here, but it fits. So with music, you know, I just want to say is sometimes records that I've heard when I was younger and I didn't like them, and I can pick them up 20 years later and I have grown into it. So what you may like now, you will not like 20 years ago, or what you didn't like 20 years ago, you will love, depending on your life and your sacrifice and your godliness and what you've done with your marriage and with your divorce and with your children and with your losses in life and family and with your benefits of success. Your musical palette changes with your life. You know, the closer you get to God, your music changes. The more sin you do, your music changes. All of that. So it's not the thing people have to understand about music with especially, well, I can only speak for black people. It is our lifeblood, and it is not an entertainment source. Music for us is our being and our soul, so it's very important that our music becomes soul-oriented or we lose ourselves. If our artists play music and live music that is sinful, we become sinful as a people. If our music is spiritual, we become a spiritual people. And it's always been like that, and it will stay that way. So an artist needs to know that they are very responsible for the betterment of their people or the downfall of their people by the music that they put out. Other people look at our music as black people, especially from Detroit, as entertainment, meaning that they can listen to our music, have a great time with it, and put it away, and then go back to their life. We do not have that type of situation with our music. We live our rhythms from Africa, and we need to understand that. And so in this place, I don't preach and talk like this. I let the music, as a griot, speak to the people with their souls, and that is what hopefully will bring them back, as well as Karen's great market. But, you know, that's what we hope. I hope God explained that a little.
Absolutely. I was going to ask, actually, your favorite, I'm just going to take a guess, your favorite genre of music. Let's say jazz, he plays trombone, but then I'm like, he's a bass player, he's more of a soulful type of person. Maybe some funk. So what would be your favorite genre of music?
My favorite genres of music are, well, my first genre of music was house music. And then I got into hip hop. 90s hip hop changed my life. And then jazz and house happened at the same time. And then 90s hip hop, I thought that our people had arrived when I heard Wu and Public Enemy. I thought we had finally did it. But then, you know, something happened, which is a beautiful thing, I guess. And then I decided that I had to look totally inward and go back into jazz, and I turned that into a study. And then now I'm learning the music that I grew up to, which was rhythm and blues like what's playing now, and religious music of gospel and blues, because I took this kind of music for granted growing up. Because when I grew up, this was everywhere, so I assumed that this will always be there. So now I realize that if I don't listen to it truly, that'll never be heard. Like this kind of what's playing now is maybe my favorite album now. So because what he's saying is everything that, you know, Kweli and all of them were saying in the 90s. So, you know, that's why that music really touched me. New York hip hop touched me from 89 to 96. It changed my life.
Just tell the people what record this is that's playing right now.
This is a record called Curtis Live by Curtis Mayfield. It's a double album. He stripped his band down to 4 or 5 pieces. He brought his main man, Henry Gibson, with him from Chicago. And they talked to the people in a way that if we really listen to it, we can become everything we're supposed to be. And I write articles on this on Griot Music Lounge on Facebook about different records when I feel it. I gotta write one tonight when y'all leave. I think I'm gonna write about Yusef Lateef and Donny Hathaway.
So, the question that I ask pretty much everybody we interview. Give me 5 records that define your life so far.
Oh boy.
Just 5.
Okay. Wu-Tang Forever.
Man, that's crazy that you said that.
This record right here,
Okay.
Curtis, that's this record. I believe in love a great deal now. And so I have to say Donny Hathaway's first album. This is Striped album. I'll get the cover. I don't forgot the name.
It's got This Christmas on it.
No. I'll get the cover for you. So that's 3. This is my life. Not what I love the most. Okay. Love Supreme by John Coltrane. And well, you know, I've been a black man all my life. And the blackest of black men is James Brown. So I'm gonna take Love, Power, and Peace by James Brown. So that's James Brown, Curtis Mayfield, Donny Hathaway, Wu-Tang Forever.
That's crazy.
And
I'm about to have a barbecue for your playlist.
Wu-Tang Forever is not enough conversation.
Like, that sounds
Wu-Tang
like...
Forever is definitely
It
like,
should be in more.
that's mine. I gotta take that to the island.
Absolutely.
That sounds like we about to have a heated spades game for
I
every
don't know what my
opportunity.
fifth one was, but I think I named it.
If you got me 5. Y'all got any questions? Because y'all said I was taking. Okay. So you kind of stated the purpose was for people to come and enjoy music and just have a home and to like listen to music and enjoy themselves and take a break. What made you want to do that now?
Well, I have never had the chance to take a break. So I don't think I'll ever be able to take one personally, because I made a lot of mistakes when I was around y'all age, so I don't have opportunity to break no more. So I'm really doing this for somebody else to learn to take a break. My days of taking a break are over. I'm working harder now than ever. So I'm not really doing this for me to take a break. I'm doing this so that you all can take a break.
Is there any words
that make
of
sense?
that makes a lot of sense? Do you have words of advice for people in my age group or people in your age group on how to take a break and just how to enjoy themselves?
Because no, I don't. I'm just going to do the best I can and do what I can for people the best I can at this point. It's been too much that have to be done. Too much that I need to do has to be done, that I've done wrong, that I've done right too. But, you know, we got to dwell on the things that we got to get better at. So I can't give advice. The only thing I can do is know that at this point, I'm only trying to do what's right for the betterment of people. That's it. That's all I have left.
That's what I found. Like, you really can't tell people how to live their life, because people, you can tell one thing to somebody, 5 people, and they'll hear it 5 different ways. So the only thing you can really do is live the life that you can live the best way that you can, and hopefully somebody can learn from it. Like my dad and my grandfather always said, all I can do is just be who I am, and hopefully I'm good enough of an example for somebody to pick up on that and they can go with it.
How we doing, Andre? Good.
You are absolutely okay. I mean,
Believe me, this is Random Tuesday.
the random, that's exactly how we
Just
covered
with the flow.
it.
He fits perfect. Guest commentator. All right.
I kind of lost my train of thought for my next question. Will you have, basically, you talked about jazz, but you just mentioned Wu-Tang. Will you have hip-hop records playing?
I do play hip-hop records. I just don't play them when hip-hop people are in here.
Okay.
They don't need that.
Because they already know it.
I try to play what will stretch you. Like when I see them, I know that's not
You're
what
not
they
preaching
need.
to the converted.
I'm not even
He's not
preaching. I'm a griot. I'm trying to get you to stretch to something more. You already great at what you know. Like that's like me going to Specs Howard with you now talking about broadcasting or something. You don't need that from me. And like you don't need me to play brand new beats. You don't need me to play poor righteous teachers. You don't need me to touch, most deaf and all of that. I'm sure that I could do that. I could Shabam, Sadiq, and all of that. I don't want to touch that with y'all. I need to play this. You all need to hear this. This is where I need you to bring your wife, woman, girlfriend. Something that they need to see another side of you. to know to keep supporting you. They need to see this relaxed side. They don't need to see you nod. They know you know how to do that. They need to see you come in here and hold their door and relax and sit back and take your hat off and sit back and relax and then go back out at war. This is an oasis for you to not have to be at war. And that music, which is what I love as a warrior, is something that you cannot relax to. You have to have a time for contemplation as a man. There has to be a time for that other than when intimate. It has to be a time where you're listening to like-minded individuals, elders, and whatever, that can put something on your mind to stretch you. So I'm not going to play that for you here, but if it's somebody my age in here, I'm going to pull Diggable Planet's Blowout Calm out. And I'm going to show them that, because everybody has what I said, a stigma of what a person is by dress, what they've read, what they've seen, what commercials show, Lil Wayne porn on the phone for 3 years. It's hard for a person my age to take a genre serious like that, unless you're a guy like me that's been around it. So I need to play some hip hop for that person to show them that everybody is not taking their phone out and just pouring champagne on it and doing purple.
You like a music myth buster.
Well, I have a people myth buster.
Yeah, there you
People. I use music. Griot is a people myth buster. He uses music to teach the people. That's the key to what I'm saying to you.
Absolutely.
The music is a vehicle.
Yeah, it's a conduit. It'll take you to a place in time that you
So I have to
might
play the
forgot.
kind of records that a person that is scared of the hip hop guy is wearing certain things in that he can see that it's nothing to be worried about, because they also make this. And then I have to play some type of records outside of samples for you, so you can see a record before it was sampled. I'm not going to play Donny Hathaway and then your ass listen to it and say, oh, I can put that in the record talking about that's a bad bitch. You understand? So I got to play that for you to let you actually hear what he's saying, so that you'll know, well, that might not be the record that I need to be doing that.